welcome back to this episode of Hometown Hauntings. We have a special guest from Chattanooga, and she is Kaye Kaye Anderson. So, you ready for this one?
Yep.
She looks eccentric and glamorous and fashionable and all about the eclectic look, and I am so glad to have you on, Kaye Kaye. Thank you so much for being our guest for today. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yes, you look gorgeous. I love the look just because, one, you're expressing yourself, you're grabbing attention. Is this, can you tell us a little bit about the look you got?
Well, I'm a seamstress by trade, so usually I take a lot of pride in the different things that I, make and everything like that. And, I just kind of have gathered a lot of different aesthetics and I've chosen what I like to, identify myself with, and I choose to express that. You only got 100 years to live, and that's being pretty generous, right?
Girl, I'm
And
on
quite
it.
a few of them are gone. So if I was you, I would say, hey, customize your character, express yourself. Everybody's pretty much making it up as they go. So why not make up your own as you go?
Yeah, you look cute. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And we'll introduce you to our viewers.
My name is Kaye Kaye. I'm so happy to meet you guys, formally getting a bond with my family over here, my GCT family. But I am from Georgia. I've been in Chattanooga quite a length of time. So you could say I'm a fixture quite here now, long enough to say that I've become a part of Chattanooga. But I, grew up in Georgia. I have, been around different places, Florida, different states. I am currently trying to finish my bachelor's in criminal justice. So I know that's surprising, thinking about law school. I'm sure that's not what people imagine when they see me, but
you never judge a book by a cover. You never know.
I usually surprise people with the amount of knowledge I have, especially about the different things we speak about together. But again, I'm just trying to pursue a passion in my life that I am, gonna feel happy and content with fulfilling and chasing. And I'm just true to myself. I like to be genuine and I like to have a good time. I'm not here for a long time, but a good one,
Yep.
What made you move from Georgia to Chattanooga?
I mean, I had family up here, transitioning around. So it kind of was the best option, and I'm not saying Georgia doesn't have its perks, but where I was from, it was more like the country, and everything like that. So there's a lot more opportunity in Chattanooga. They're growing very fast. So, it's kind of becoming like a little Atlanta at this point with the amount of people that are gravitating because the great prices with the real estate and great living expenses, or, at least better than, California and things right now. So people come here. There's a lot of opportunity, so a lot of different things.
So for work, what do you do for work? For those who don't know.
For those who don't know, I'm a seamstress, right? So I do that for work, but I also do the ghost tours and everything. So that's pretty much what I do. And I guess you could say I'm a student because, again, I'm taking my education pretty seriously to try to fulfill it. But I mean, overall, that's pretty much what I do. A jack of all trades, do a little bit here and there.
There you go.
Might do some hair, might do some crafts, but
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Yes. So what brought you to start doing a tour for Ghost City Tours?
When I talked to the recruiter on the phone, it was like we were already best friends. I don't really meet a stranger, but I'm like, her? Oh, we were best friends. We already skipped the acquaintance phase and friendship. We have full-blown BFFs at this point.
Yeah.
And it was just her being so inviting, and then me being as expressive as I am, and I love history and I love spooky things, as you could probably tell. It's just, it pulled me in, it was almost like a magnet, it's like, I don't want to say opposites attract, because even though then we do have people that you wouldn't think would do these tours, but it's like just the different things that it can offer. You allow us to express ourselves. You allow us to communicate history, accurately and with the realism that it could come with the spiritual aspect. So, it's very, gravitational to me and my personality. And I just, thought it was inviting. And I love, again, to be able to be genuine and express yourself, especially with a company that has room for you to grow. And also, you feel like you're a real family. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to work here?
Yeah, exactly. When you go and you do tours, do you dress so people to expect something eccentric and eclectic when they come on a tour with you? You're not just wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Oh, definitely not. If this is what I wear on a regular day, like
Uh,
you best believe when you see me on the tour,
uh,
it's going all out. I'm like, I love to make different pieces for going out and surprising people,
mhm,
and bringing them into the atmosphere. You
mhm,
want them to feel like, something could come up at any moment or something could happen, of course, safely, but, with that sense of thrill and drama, and me having the look and the appeal to fit with that.
mhm.
Man, that brings people right on home.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. The whole package, it brings it full circle. So, hauntings, did you grow up with ghost hauntings in your family? Do you have like a strong belief in them? Your family did?
Actually, I would say being in the Bible Belt of America, that was a no.
Mm-hmm.
An astounding no, because I mean, growing up in the Baptist church,
Mm-hmm.
things that happened that were unexplained, especially in like Chattanooga and the conjoined areas,
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty scary. People were pretty weary.
Do you
Like
think
I
it
said,
was
the
so
Bible Belt,
taboo that
like
like people just didn't talk about it because of the taboo or the what?
I mean, if they would explain it as it being evil,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody wants to associate with evil.
Uh-huh.
You get branded with that title, hey, you might as well be at those Salem witch trials at this point. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, because you will get roasted.
Yeah.
I didn't have that necessarily in my family, but again, as growing up, I always kind of had a curiosity for the oddities. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I was attracted to the stuff that was per se paranormal or weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily saying it had to be gruesome, but there
Mm-hmm.
is like some gruesome nature when you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking on, the afterlife and
Yeah.
the people that are still here with us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
just
think that's what brings a
interest.
lot of us employees for the
Hmm.
company together because we're all just different in our own ways. Maybe we were like the odd ones or the loners at school, or we're just very book smart, or we were in band, or we were just our own little group. And so now we found like our home as a whole with the
Yeah.
company because we have our different people. We may all be a little different, but our passions all for the same. So we just mix so well. And so it's like so comforting to be around people that are accept you for who you are. So it's definitely, but that's good. Is the Chattanooga, is there a lot of people with the similar interest?
I feel like it's anywhere, right? It's kind of
Mm,
like a niche group.
okay.
Like, of course, everybody's not gonna be cool with stuff like that. They're like, that's weird. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you trying to? What do you think you're trying to be a medium? Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't necessarily gravitate to it, but there is a crowd, and that
Mm-hmm.
crowd, again, it's like they're going to support you, they're going to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, when things change, they're not going to waver. So,
Yeah.
again, if it's like something pretty niche and in a group, like people are pretty strong minded. And,
Mm-hmm.
there's that collective here.
Yeah.
We do have plenty of people that,
Okay.
have the same mentality and will join in the fun.
Okay.
Did you have any idea that Chattanooga had kind of a hidden paranormal history to it before?
That's not even a question. When you think about the history of America, if you don't think about Chattanooga, you obviously must not know the relevance or the actual history of what has happened, in the
Mm-hmm.
world.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we were one of the parts of the biggest battle in American history, one of the most gruesome and bloodiest. And if you don't think that left its mark on the land, on the
Mm-hmm.
history, on the heritage, then again, you obviously have not looked into the history of America developing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the Civil War, I mean, that's all I have to say. And that's only the
Yeah.
tip of the iceberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know, even some of the first things as serial killers and things like that, a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But Chattanooga is the one that kind of fostered that. Not saying it's a good thing. It
Yeah.
is infamous, but
Well, that's part of Hometown Hauntings is
Yeah.
to bring awareness to different communities and states and hometowns that maybe people don't really think about or didn't realize. Like you just mentioned the serial killer thing. I'm intrigued with that because I love true crime and serial killers like that. Now we're talking. But it's to bring either folklore or legends or just something that's not talked about all the time, as well as we want to talk about the history and like the
Hmm.
major parts for Chattanooga so people get out and see, but also like the underlying stuff that maybe a lot of people don't know that'll intrigue them to come visit you guys.
I try to get people, to hear about the stuff we have going on because it's so engaging. Once you like make that connection and it becomes full circle with the history and then the things that are still reminiscent of that,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes it more surreal that we live in a time that's transcended from these things
Mm-hmm.
and how we still have those connections to that stuff in the past. You
Mhm.
know, again, there's like I said, a lot of serial killers. There's been a lot of deaths. I mean, we conserve many of the battlegrounds here for the Civil War and,
Mhm.
you know, kind of conjoining wars between different groups that were here. So, I mean, for us to conserve that type of heritage and still put it on display, I
Mhm.
mean, you have to acknowledge it, right? You have to know that it's there. And I mean, again, to make that connection and that appeal, it's just it's so savory, you know,
Mhm.
to learn and to
Yeah.
become more in touch with your surroundings.
Yep. And to keep passing that on so the knowledge doesn't die. It just continues to grow because then it intrigues people to learn more or to like perseverance
Mhm.
for that and to show and to like keep people educated. And that's important.
Yeah, because I don't know if a
So,
lot of people know that the Trail of Tears started in Chattanooga.
yeah. So I have Indian background. So like that,
Uh,
to read that and to see, and I remember driving through and saw something about the Trail of Tears and it was talking about it, but that was definitely, and it was talking about, what did I see? Something about a house or there's something built on that ground. So I can imagine whatever is built on that ground, even just parts have to be enriched and
Right.
soiled and keep that stuff because that was such a hard time and the emotions from people were so strong at that time. So I can only imagine what it captured.
Funny you say that, like, you know, this Native American ground and the people technically before them, which were
Mm-hmm.
like the Mississippians or the mound builders.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So they really kind of set their mark and set up the Native Americans and Cherokees and everyone to come after them. But essentially, the whole land of
Mm-hmm.
where they were at first,
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of houses on top of it. There's actually
Yeah.
like layers of
Yeah.
houses.
There's
Yeah.
the city's built on burial grounds, old mound builder
I've
burial
never
grounds.
been there, so I'm very interested in seeing. But yeah.
It's on top of the original Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to think it's more like 4 or 5 graveyards on top
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
each other, right?
Yeah.
We got the Native Americans. Well, first we got the mound builders, aka
Mm-hmm.
Mississippians. Then we got the Native Americans in their land. Then we have all these wars. Then we have to
Mm-hmm.
raise the elevation line because of so much flooding and things from the upper levels of the dam. And it's so crazy that we get this flooding and things because it seemed like when the Native Americans had the land, I guess before they cursed us,
Uh-huh.
essentially, there wasn't said history of so much flood and
Mm-hmm.
disease and
Mm-hmm.
poverty that
Mm-hmm.
came with it. And it's like as soon as they said, "Hey, we're gonna curse you guys and take our land and do this
They
to us,"
meant what they
and what did we
said.
do?
Mm-hmm.
There was
Yep.
who was it? Was it Dragon Canoe? I think specifically said that your land will be bloodied when he was
It
trying
definitely
to
is.
prevent the Trail of Tears
Mm-hmm.
from happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And then too, a lot of people again with the serial killers that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day, before, you know, essentially they're all moving in and changing things and things are still pretty prosperous, you get John Ross, right? So he's the one who made Ross's
Yep.
Landing and to essentially begin Chattanooga's transition. However, when it was Ross's Landing, he had a brother-in-law and his name was John Brown. Now, his brother in law was a very prominent businessman, right? So he was establishing different places, you know, before they would be evicted in the Trail of Tears.
Mm-hmm.
So before this happens, he has all these businesses. He's also prospering. And when the Trail of Tears does come to fruition in the Indian Removal Act, he doesn't leave. He formally writes a letter to the government. He gets them to let them stay, you know, because he's like, well, he is making a substantial contribution to the economics. Let's let him stay.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up staying. He still has this money and he ends up kind of giving up all those businesses, but he still has, you know, a lump
Mm-hmm.
sum of money and he creates a tavern. Now, I don't know if y'all know about this one, but Brown's Ferry Tavern, and we're talking way back, you know, 1800s and everything. He has this tavern and it's still there today. And they have a famous road that's named after it called Brown's Ferry Tavern in Browns Ferry Road. And if you go there, they actually found the remains of, they said, over 30 individuals' bodies.
Oh.
And that is because John Brown got convicted as the first serial killer of Chattanooga. And a lot of people don't know that, but he was getting more of his comeuppance after they had eventually evicted all those people. And he would, you know, kind of, I mean, I don't want to say lure, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he would lure the elites of the area at the
Uh-huh.
time, you know, take their wealth, kill them, and people wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was said that he was actually in cahoots with some of those people's children because they wanted the money.
Mhm.
So even that far as corruption.
Yeah.
But I mean, this man got away with killing. They don't know exactly how many. I mean, of course, technology is
Mhm.
better at this time, but you finding like 30 skulls, then that's a guaranteed 30 bodies.
Yeah.
Like,
no questions
so
asked. Yeah.
it's definitely crazy, and a lot of people don't know, but you can still go see his place, and it's definitely creepy to have lights up at it. And I mean, it's just it's surreal
So
to
is it
think
still
that
like a
he's one of the
tavern
first serial
themed,
killers.
or is it preserved for like a museum or something, or could people they use it as a?
I don't want to say like a museum. Sometimes they do open the doors, but you can most definitely go over there and still look, because I mean, surprisingly, the building is still pretty well built. It was a double-story building. This
Okay.
man had a basement. He
Oh.
couldn't do the torture on the top
Yeah.
level floor.
Yeah.
Like,
He was.
he said, we got to take him to the basement,
Yeah.
but he was hanged, and I mean, it's pretty hard, right? So
Yeah.
1896, this man got hanged. And
Wow.
I mean, there was still a lot more people to come to get hanged, but he was one of the first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Speaking of talking about the city being built on top of land, are you familiar with the fact that the city has a hidden underground city technically underneath it?
Used to do tours of that underground.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't maintain the structural integrity of some of the parts that they used to do it on. So sadly, they can't do it, anymore. I'm hoping that one day they will fix it. Maybe we'll be like Seattle or Paris catacombs. Because I'm like, those tickets sold themselves. I would like really want to get a partnership with them to be able to have the ability to go down and show people, because it's literally, it was preserved. Like, you could still look up pictures of it and it's still preserved as if some people were just left, right? Because a lot of people didn't even realize when they were filling in Chattanooga. I mean, none of that stuff was organized. They were like, hey, we're filling in your street. You got to go, babe.
Yeah.
Like, either you're going to stay here or you're going to leave here. Pick one. Like,
yeah.
Some people didn't even have that choice. They might have got buried with it, But again, people just left. It's almost like a ghost town. And all the buildings are just, if you can go into some of the, because the same structures are there. They're the same old buildings. You go down those and it's the lower level Chattanooga. They just filled in the roads, which is very strange,
Yeah.
But hey, still, it was a strange time period.
Well, it was to help with, because Chattanooga suffered from terrible floods because they were right next to the river. So they raised up certain parts because they thought it would be a better solution than having to rebuild. They just raised the city technically, but they left all the buildings buried underneath.
To this day, I mean, we still have like transformers and things down there. And again, like I said, it goes back to the curse that I believe is here, right? I mean, a lot of stuff still happens. Like, we had like an underground fire, and I was like, oh God, like, half of downtown is out of power because the fire's coming up through the grates. I'm like, oh Lord, like, it's hell down there. Look. Literally.
It's weird though that you talked about an underground town, because we talked about something on another podcast that was underground. Was it New Orleans we were talking? And they were talking about underground, but it seems like any city that's built up, seems to be a lot of activity, I guess, or questions, or I guess because it's lingering in what's below. So when you have guests on your tours, do you notice and talk with them and talk about like if people are believers, non-believers? Do they get, how do guests react? Maybe if they're non-believers or if they are after a tour, like, do they notice more? Do you think?
I like to be a connoisseur of persuasion.
Okay.
And I like to have the gift of gab, because I feel like if I can convince them or I can give them a good time, or a show, it gives them, the more open-mindedness to be inept to what I'm saying, right? Or so if I'm like kinder, more genuine about what I'm saying, and I give them historical reference and things like that, they become more open-minded to believing. So by the end of the tour, they could be kind of convinced. They're like, okay, I can see, how that could definitely be that way. Because I'm like, that's too many coincidences, I'm like, I'm describing all these scenarios, these separate people that aren't connected. I'm like, there's no way that this is just all coincidental, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense, and of course, when we're on the tour and things start happening, like one of the buildings that we do go by and observe and have a story of, it's sometimes at night, the lights will come on and they'll go off, and people will swear that I'm doing it. I'm like, hey man, I can't even pay for this entertainment. But it gets them on edge even more. And then, we get to go around and see a few more things, and now they're more enthused about it and they're into it. So again, it kind of convinces them way
Yeah.
more, but there are skeptics. That
Yeah.
the first question that people ask me is, hey, do you actually believe this is true?
Uh-huh.
Do you actually believe in ghosts? Do you
Yeah.
believe in this? And I'm always pretty open-minded with the answer, and I leave it open-ended because I'm like, it's for your interpretation. But
Mhm.
I'm like, think of it this way. If anything, like almost anything you can think of has existed or will exist or has existed now, then why couldn't the possibility of these things also exist?
Yeah.
I'm like, so
Yeah.
they're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, I can see that.
And like you said, you're given historical facts because it is a historical tour,
Yeah.
and it just brings into different scenarios. So it definitely gets your mind going. So
Besides you mentioned the lights flickering,
Mm-hmm.
have you and your guests on your tours experienced anything else?
yeah, like what's the craziest thing somebody's experienced or you have on a tour?
One of the spookiest things, we have one of the most haunted hotels in America. And if you don't know what that is, it's the Reed
Yeah.
Hotel, the Reed
Yeah.
House Hotel or the Reed Manor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most haunted hotel in America. And every time we go in there, a guest always says, I see these paintings following me with their eyes, or I feel this chill down my spine. Or even if we're very lucky, I might even get the hotel to let me have, because I do got a couple friends in there.
Uh-huh.
They be taking us up to the room where one of the actual victims was killed. One of the most haunting victims of that hotel. And when we go in that room, let me
Mhm.
tell y'all, it's like a totally different atmosphere. The
Mhm.
guests are hushed, they are stunned.
Mhm.
They're surprised. First of all, they're really excited because they didn't think they're gonna get to go anywhere.
Yeah,
But
it's an extra
but
treat. Yeah.
third, they are like on their toes. They're looking around. They're like, oh my gosh, do you feel this? Like, this feels unnatural. And with the room being in the same state that it was when she died and
Oh,
many of the
wow.
other people died,
Okay.
it's almost surreal. People are like, wow, like even the smell of the room, they're like, I can still kind of smell like a faint odor as if,
Mhm.
there has been something decaying. And I'm not saying it is a dirty hotel because
Yeah.
it of course looks spotless, but
Yeah.
again, that's the spiritual realm.
Mhm.
It could be these things, these feelings. But there's some spooky things. Like I said, we go in there, and I thought the light flickering was scary,
Mhm.
but going in there and feeling somebody, send a chill down your spine and your hairs are on end, and you feel a breeze, but it ain't no window.
Yeah.
It ain't no fan or no air on. It's time for me to go. I forgot. I'm black. Look, let me get out of there. Look.
So
It's definitely.
what's your favorite place to take guests on a tour out of all the places you've gone? And what do you specialize in one tour? I know that they do it for all, but do you have like a favorite tour? And out of all your tours, what's your favorite place to take guests?
Oh, that's a hard question because honestly, I love both of my tours.
Okay.
I love like getting adults spooked, right? Because
Uh-huh.
that's a hard task. You got to put in the work for that. But it's so great when you reap the reward of them being afraid,
Uh-huh.
but also seeing something about that joy of children, learning
Mhm.
history,
Mhm.
and also them getting a fright, but not in the same sense.
Yeah, it's
We're
not a
not going to have them
jump
afraid,
scare.
but
Yeah.
them knowing, they're like, oh, wow, like this
Mhm.
really happened. Like these people took these steps where I'm walking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's kind of surreal. But I can't pick a favorite.
Okay.
But I will say that I do have the favorite spots on each of the tours. So my
Mhm.
favorite spots on the adult tour, it has to be the hotel. It is by
Okay.
far my favorite. It's like we stepped back into 1920s with Al Capone and
Wow.
everyone who has made transgressions of infamy at that hotel.
Okay.
But on the children's tour, we get to go kind of under where the bridge and everything is, one of our famous bridge, our Walnut Street Bridge.
Mhm.
And it has so much history. But when we go down there, it's like just I mean, I don't want to say you're almost stepping into a back room, but
Mhm.
people are like, oh my gosh, where are we? Like, how do we get here? We took these steps down, but this doesn't look like where we were. And it's kind of immersive and spooky. And I love it. And kids love going down there and they're always astonished, like, wow, how did we get under here? And
Mhm.
the bridge is all the way up there. Like, look at it, and then they get to see these different kind of art pieces that are down there with us. And I get to tell them, one of the other kind of cool, but also I would say kind of sad, but stories of Chattanooga that has so much history,
Mhm.
about our bridge and things. And children seem to really love that one. I think it hits home the most.
Mhm.
Not saying that I describe it in the same way because
Yeah.
it is more slightly graphic,
Uh-huh.
but even the way that I tell it to them, they're like, wow, like that really happened. Like, this is history. And
Yeah.
I can't believe that, this
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my other favorite spots. But
I like
You
that
know,
because it's bringing
it's hard to
awareness to
Yeah, I'm
history.
glad that both tours are getting such good receptions from your guests because I'm the one who wrote both of them.
Yeah, Quint's a writer. Yeah.
That's great. I was gonna tell you, look, so I do kind of change them just a little
You're
bit. I still
supposed
got
to.
some of your
Yeah, yeah.
material, but
Yeah.
I have changed them.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
the one with the bridge, maybe I should tell you that one.
No,
I have
because
told
you
other
need to make
people,
it
but-
yourself. The thing is, like for the tours,
Right.
he gives the historical facts and the information, but they want you to make it your own. But tell obviously the truth and the facts about it, but put you in it and make it your spin.
This one technically wasn't what he wrote. Like
Oh.
I'm guilty. I put stuff in there that you didn't write, but this is one that I might feel like people probably could be able to say on their other tours. Like I have given the other people that I've been able to train, you know, luckily, like, hey, this is an option for this tour. But maybe you would look into that one because it's a real prominent one with Ed Johnson. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was a man who was lynched in Chattanooga on the bridge that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't walk on because they're superstitious, but a lot of people don't even realize that history though either. You know, we just got that memorial like less than a couple years ago. So
I was actually going to write about Ed Johnson, but I didn't end up writing about him. Because there was like a seance that happened on the bridge where they contacted Ed Johnson, and apparently the seance said like he wasn't innocent. I'm like, I don't want to put that. I don't want to say that about Ed.
Well, you already know people that's doing seances. I don't know if you can trust them anyway.
Yeah.
They not trying to do it for the good of the spirit being there to tell his story. They trying to conjure him. I'm like, but he is technically one of the first Supreme Court cases for an African American man that got a stay of execution.
Yeah.
And that is really why they became enraged. And I'm like, if you look at it, if the Supreme Court case said that, you know, there wasn't any plausible evidence and he needed a stay of execution, then I don't care what the perspective is. That's technically what the legal law was. But again, you know, that's how things happen. Sadly, he wasn't one of the only people to be lynched, you know, but there are technically only 5 recorded cases in Chattanooga, even though there are thousands of cases of people being lynched, which is, you know, also pretty staggering. But had we not come from that history, learn from it, reflect on it, tell these people's stories and express it in the way we do, then we would be doomed to repeat it. So, you know, it's also a blessing.
Yeah.
They get to continue to live on, and I would definitely tell, you know, their homage of each one of these stories, you know, of people. So definitely.
Do you have any favorite haunted locations in Chattanooga?
That's what I was just about to ask.
Aren't
Good job.
on the tour?
Yes.
That on tour,
Yes.
I probably would have to say yes, but I guess this area would be more for like I guess people who are natives of Chattanooga, because it's more like the grungy type area, you know, like the Cove type area. But it's said that, you know, with so many people having drowned there that, you know, they're still lingering on. I mean, it's almost like Lake Lanier, right? I don't know if you know that, you know, Georgia Lake, but it is known to be one of the most deadly lakes in Georgia. It was a man-made lake, right? They actually put it on top of an African-American community, and so many people die there every year, even now.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a Lake Lanier here. It's not necessarily called Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
It's more like the Cove.
Okay.
But it's still very spooky. It has a cave entrance, and people have gotten lost there. And I'm like, why would you go in there? People,
I'd be the one to go in there.
Man. Look,
get
at least get a guide.
I know, but I want to go in. Let's check it out. But that's one of the things. Like we want people to see like what locals would see, or if a local's listening, be like, I remember going there when I was little. We need to go back and show my kids. So I like that idea. The Cove. Go check out the Cove. Let us know. Send us pictures. I want to see what the Cove is all about.
Don't get lost.
Don't get lost.
I can definitely show you though, because it's kind of surreal how big it's like a cavern. Like people just, I mean, they do have scientists who go in and out, right? Because they're like, you know, checking different things. But it's like, man, somebody go in there and just get lost. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
I would need a travel buddy, but
inducing.
So local legends for that town, since you are there and you talk with other people that work in hotels or other establishments and you mingle with people, is there like certain local legends that stick out that people might say, hey, if you go there and turn off the light in the bathroom or something, like there was a bar here where it said that if you were, was it an adult adultery, or you did
Adulterer?
something. Yeah, or you were the town slut. Like, you would go in this bathroom and the ghost would get you because they knew that you were out whoring around, kind of thing. So it'd be like they call you out. So.
Well, speaking of salacious woman, look, we do have our fair share of converted brothels, I will say, and
Okay.
I wouldn't say that they are just the most haunted, but they have the most notable stories. I guess it is because of the connection with the sexual aspect, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times the whole city was centered around a brothel, right? So that's
Okay.
really what got the West going. Like, women in a brothel, that made a
Mhm.
town. I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't admit that, but that's literally that's what made the town. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
we have our fair shares of those downtown. And when I tell you, it's like walking into an episode of Gunsmoke and you think Miss Kitty is not going to have enough money for a drink, it's literally like that. But I mean, we do have some notable characters down there. You know, we have a woman who is local legend would say has
Mm-hmm.
it. There was a woman, they called her Sweetie, and she was said to be raped and, you know, kind of mutilated and things like that, and her spirit is still stuck in that bar. And it
Yeah.
said that she'll come out, you know, different hours late in the night when people have the bar open, and she'll say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, can you buy me a drink, stud, or things like
Yeah.
that. And people will be like, oh, you know, sure, or they'll say no, but they turn away and they're like, where'd that lady go? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, she wasn't there, but you know, and she still hangs around trying to get her, you know, fill of men and make
Yeah.
ends meet. But you know, meat done already made her ends. So look, you know, you know.
It seems like there's a lot, though, of things, haunted places all over that have to do with sexual acts
Yep.
or whatever, that have the lingering
Mm-hmm.
people left behind. Their souls have not gone on. Yes.
Well, they can.
They were still lingering for their meat.
being violent.
Sorry.
Or you said hell has no fury like a woman scorned, because
Thank
that
you.
literally is it.
Yes. Yes. But
I guess due to the violence of some of the acts can be, it's grim and ugly business
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to be mixed up in, and it
Yeah.
ends up leaving really strong residual
yeah.
energy.
Yeah. Because then women didn't have as much choice. And could you imagine all that they endured to
Right.
make those few ducats to pay for? Yeah. So it's hard. I could just, yeah. I'd be an angry woman.
I mean, I am so blessed to be in this day and age. I'm not gonna lie, because when I think about women's suffrage and all the things that people
Mm-hmm.
had to triumph over, for me
Yeah.
to have the right to just be able to have a bank account or something like that, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I would pray that I had that much courage in a past life, or if I was in that time, to stand up and be with them. I mean, even
Yeah.
now, because of course
Yeah.
there's still things that we need to make right, but again, you know, a lot of women in Chattanooga, there
Mm-hmm.
are so many stories of them having the terrible, you know, run-ins with men or even their
Mm-hmm.
husbands, and it not ending very well for them. And they're stuck in this endless loop of purgatory, you know, earth
Yeah.
realm, you know, haunting. And it's sad, you know, it's sad that they have to be trapped. Also, that we have the curse. So there are so many people trapped because of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just compounded terrible issues, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
Chattanooga, but there are some tortured souls here, dead and alive, if you ask me.
So how's the industry right now with travel and everything? Do you notice that it's picking back up since COVID? It's not picked up, or like you haven't really noticed much fluctuation?
I've noticed the fluctuation. It seems like, of course, when it gets colder, you know, because we
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
have a pretty
Yeah.
cold winter. I mean, people, I understand them too. I'm like, hey, man, I feel you. Like, you know, a jacket ain't enough. So, you know, like, take it easy. But again, you know, spring's coming around. It's getting
Mm-hmm.
warmer. You know, people come out. I mean, even on rainy days, I love a
Mm-hmm.
good rainy day. It really sets the mood. It really sets up your story to have that dreary tone. Even if it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, supposed to have some happy temperament, it's not supposed to be happy, right? And the rain
Yeah.
kind of underscores that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, people still, again, I would say we still had a pretty good steady stream, I would say, year round, even if it was only a couple tours a week. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty decent considering that it's
Yeah.
like 20 degrees or it's
Yeah.
Oh,
like
Lord.
And that it didn't
storming.
just shut down completely like
Yeah,
Chicago
so
or any of our other cold cities. So yeah. But I don't do snow.
it's definitely gonna pick up way more in the summer. In the summer,
Mm-hmm.
every day. Look, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't even be worried.
Yeah. It's a big travel spot for people to vacation.
I've had people from everywhere. I've had people from New York, California, Florida, Texas,
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, Ohio. Mississippi. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, well, why are y'all here? They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just traveling, and
Okay.
it's crazy how much Chattanooga is like a central hub for people just going across country
Hmm.
or going through different places. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I just want to stop here for a day. I
Yeah.
stopped here for just today. We came
Hmm.
for today. And I'm like, well, it's great. I'm glad you came for today to come see me. Look,
Yeah. Yep. See?
it's pretty awesome. I mean, to meet so many people from so many different places and to really
Hmm.
touch their lives, not only with the history, but with who I can be as a person, it's great. I've created lasting impacts with these people,
Hmm.
year round. I'm like, people want me to come to dinner. I'm like, shoot, when? Look,
Yeah. Yeah.
what
What you
time?
cooking? I'm on my way. Yep.
Look, hey,
RSVP.
it's
Yeah.
definitely I love that aspect, and I love creating a safe environment where people
Hmm.
feel like they can express things to me, even if
Hmm.
they're things that they may think are taboo or hot
Yes.
button issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you should feel comfortable. That's what communication is. It's not
Yeah.
win or lose. It should be
Hmm.
win-win. It should be collaboration.
Yeah.
It should be us, understanding, and identifying how we can, be better with each other, not
Yeah.
trying to turn you off, even if I disagree,
Yeah.
agree to disagree, right?
Yep.
Again, look,
Yep. I think a
so
lot of people have
definitely.
stories. They just need the right person to be really interested in hearing them rather than somebody to
Mm-hmm.
say, yep, that's great, and not really giving that feedback into it because they're already reserved about telling their story. So I think once they go on a tour and they feel comfortable with either guests with them, a guide, something like that, then maybe they'll be more open to tell their story. And even if they want to go nowhere other than in the ear of whoever, just to get that off and let them feel like relief that, okay, I told it and I'm not crazy, or people won't say anything other or judge, because most people who are doing that are because we are intrigued with the same thing. So
People were just a little more open-minded with it,
yeah.
stop, you don't have to judge a book by its cover,
Yep.
because most
Yep.
of the time whatever you think is probably not
You're
right,
wrong.
honestly.
Yep.
It's from your perspective.
Yep.
So like a lot of people would be like, oh, you must worship the devil or do something negative, and I'm like,
They're like, nah, but I'll
how
see you at
did
church on Sunday.
yeah, I'm like, how did you
Yeah.
get that? From what? I just said
Yeah.
hi. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep. Yep. So after tours, do you stand around, like if guests have questions or if they tell you where they're staying or tell you something, do you help give advice or?
When people come to me, I'm like, we're like friends at this point. Like I said,
Hmm.
I don't meet a stranger. So when I
Hmm.
meet you and knowing that you're not from the area and knowing that you might be kind of skittish, I want to
Hmm.
make you comfortable. I want you to
Hmm.
come back to the city. I want to make that connection with you. Because again, to me, you my sister from another mister. You my brother from another mother. I mean,
Yep.
it's literally all that to me. Like, I would want somebody to be kind to me. I'm
Hmm.
somewhere I don't know. And it's not hard to make these suggestions because again, it's more than just a job to me.
Hmm.
I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it because I feel like I need to tell people this information,
Yeah.
which I mean, of course I feel like they should know history, but
Hmm.
that's not the whole thing. It's me making
Yeah.
human connection, interaction on a basic level. We're talking, we're conversing. We're gonna
Do you
get
think
to
that's
know
just
each
the
other, get to
Southern
know different things.
hospitality, the Georgia
Yeah.
Southern hospitality girl? Because
Oh yeah,
I lived
definitely.
on the
You
West
know it.
Coast. You don't get that everywhere on the West Coast, I'll tell you what.
I about to say,
So,
yeah, you go to New York, you can't even tell somebody to have a good day. They're like, don't
no.
tell me how to have a day.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Not everybody is like that. So, yeah. But I think that people would like that and be receptive, especially out of towners, because they're already skeptical of areas and they don't want to be put in that area. So, yeah. So they trust you.
I build that trust throughout the tour. Again, when we
Hmm.
first meet, I'm building that trust anyway because I
Hmm.
want you to be comfortable. I want you to feel like we had a great time. This was an activity. Not that
Hmm.
I'm a con artist and you're dissatisfied with the time you spent with me. But that's really what it is. I'm selling you a time, my personality, my
Hmm.
stories. Like you
Hmm.
got to make it meaningful. You want people to come back and
Yeah.
empathize with your perspective, even if they didn't agree. And
Hmm.
become more human with you. Like we're all here together. And
Yeah.
again, I've had people who we had such a good time. Like the tour is so great. And sometimes I only had that one family or that one couple. And they're like,
Hmm.
man, let's go grab dinner after this. Let's get a
Hmm.
drink. Like,
Yeah.
let's get to the real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love it because that again opens doors and
Hmm.
avenues for us to
Hmm.
have this expressive conversation and a great
Yeah.
time. And you will remember this, and I will remember this,
Hmm.
and you can carry this on so that, hey, I have kids. Let's, put them on this good time. Remember good people, it was a
Hmm.
great feeling and something we can remember, because the
Yeah.
memories are what really are more important.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's what our thing is, making memories. Because you can't take money with you, but you can take your memories. So, yeah. But I'm excited. I need to go to Chattanooga. I've never been, and I think I
Chattanooga's
need
great.
to go.
There's you've probably been. There's that wonderful aquarium that Chattanooga has. It's huge.
Are you being a smart ass? What is it, like SeaWorld or something?
No, it's an aquarium.
It's
like a
just
pet
I've been
store?
there so many times.
Oh, okay.
They're expanding. They're expanding,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't have that many
I'm
animals
thinking he's being
in
like
there,
smart
but
assy and it'll be like a little fish tank
No,
at
it's
like
a
a pet
huge
store.
aquarium.
Oh, okay.
Why
Okay.
would-
I don't
I've only
know.
been
Right.
once. It's a legitimate,
Okay.
like one of the biggest aquariums I've ever been to.
Okay.
It's great.
I'll have to check it out.
it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely getting upgraded because if you go to Atlanta Zoo, like they got flamingos and everything like that. Like we don't have all that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we barely got penguins right now. Like we gotta keep it on ice, but
That's okay.
we're trying.
Yeah.
But a lot of people too, they like to see, Lookout Mountain, Ruby Falls, or they like to see the incline, or things like that, and especially the nature things. Chattanooga very famous for some of our nature places, because you can get out and there's a forest not too far from you, and
Well, they're all
you gotta get a
sporty,
nice
outdoor
hike.
sporty. Ugh. I'm not an outdoor sporty girl. I don't like to sweat.
I'm not either, but I know people who come here love to do it, so I gotta tell them, look.
Mm. Yeah. No. No, I'm an indoor girl. I don't like to get dirty. No. But yeah. But so is there lots of other tour companies out there that do similar? Do you notice that you stick out more because of your attire and your flair? So, and do you change it? I'm very curious. Like, do you change it for every tour? Like you have a theme for every, like you never wear the same thing twice, like at least where people could see, but like you'll swap it up?
Like I said, I just like this every day. So if I have to even go, get groceries, like I'm gonna dress like this. But I usually
Really?
switch it up. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I love it, man. I love feeling like
I
a celebrity
love
when I
that
go
you
out.
are so comfortable. Yeah. Yes.
They treat you like it. They're like, oh man, can I take a picture with you? And
Uh-huh.
I mean, of course you get some of those dirty looks, but I'm like, y'all just mad because y'all not living y'all own life and truth.
Thank
Like
you.
that's literally it. But
Thank you.
again, like we have a couple of ghost tour companies down here, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say I stand out. I'm not saying those companies aren't bad because I love those companies.
Yeah.
They're family oriented. They've been here from the start, right? Chattanooga. But it's definitely different. They have a more long-winded process, I would say, and it's a lot more hiking and a little bit more strenuous on the exercise part. Like they walk up the hills. I kind of have navigated a route that ain't that.
Yeah.
It makes the walk and the talk less enjoyable. And I'm going the extra mile. Like I literally have a cooler. I have drinks for people,
Oh,
like,
that's wonderful.
I'd be like, we need that,
See that bridge?
Like, it's hot. Yeah. I give it complimentary, right? I'm not saying you got to tip me or anything because I know you paid, but I know that this can lead to me having a great review in the end. And that's really all I want. People inclined to tip me. I appreciate it. But I definitely, I would say, stick out a little more.
You're passionate about your job.
Yeah, I care about my job, and I also care about myself because I never know who I could meet one of these days. I could meet somebody to change my life and never even know it.
And that's
for
facts. Real. And you could be changing somebody's life and they don't know like you personally until they like the tour goes and they get to know you and build that relationship. So the preconceived notions, like people just need to knock that shit off. I can't stand that.
Just about getting people to like me or say what they can do for me, but I'm saying I want to have a good impression on you and show you that everybody's not however you think they are, and don't try to have that preconceived notion. And I do want to go the extra mile because you're worth that. I'm like, you deserve having a good time, have something to drink, something to snack on while we out here chilling in the city you ain't even been to. Like, you deserve that. I'm like, you already have paid for my time. So let me make it that much more worth it by being into this character and being, something out of the ordinary, which makes it that much more worth it. I'm like, people come, I got stuff they don't expect. We can go inside. You don't even expect that. I'm not saying you need these emotional highs for a good time, but you do. I mean, think about it. If you're in a relationship and, your guy gets you flowers and he gives you the flowers, you're like, oh, great, flowers, right? But if he texts you and he says, hey, we need to talk, right? But when you get home, he gives you flowers. You're like, like you're even more grateful for those flowers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Have you always been so optimistic? Like your vibe is just very positive.
Life is too short. I done been through so much in my life and I haven't had a traditional life and I am blessed for that. I wouldn't have it any other way. Of course, I wish that I had things that other people have. Like, I wish I had parents who were there for me and things like that. Of course, who wouldn't? I wish I had more resources, more opportunity. Who doesn't? But I am content with what I have because God has always found a way for me. When I thought I didn't have it, when I was down and out on my last thing, struggling, He always came through for me. So I'm like, life
Yeah.
is too short. It always works out. Even
It
when you think
does.
it ain't gonna work out,
Yeah.
it's a future version of me already somewhere, and they
Yeah.
have done all the hard work. I'm getting to them. I'm waiting on
Yeah.
Kaye Kaye of the future. She already did it. Look,
Yeah. That's what I try to tell people. Like, when you think you're at your lowest and you just can't, you're not. Like, just keep going because you'll get through it. And I've hit the lowest, but it's like, give hope and that optimism and just keep people going. So your outlook on everything and the way you seem to be towards people is just so friendly and outgoing and pleasant that we need more people like Kaye Kaye.
You gotta be the change in the world you want to see. So I'm with you. Like I said, just be happy. Life is too short. You could be gone tomorrow, and I would be so upset for you that you wasted your last day being angry or regretful or shamed or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Do you? Everybody else just gonna have to fall in line. Make yourself happy, but do unto others and do for others because
Yeah.
you're not here to be selfish. You're here to share whatever gift it is or purpose you have. Everybody got one. You're just figuring it out.
They just got to find it. So I want to ask one last question, and then we'll do a sign off and let you kind of give yourself a little toot. But so you've traveled. Obviously, you've been to Seattle, you've been to Georgia, Chattanooga. But out of all your travels and wherever else you may have been, what is like your favorite spot? And is it haunted or just your favorite spot in general?
I don't really think that any of the places were just as haunted. I guess maybe they were more just like nice, right?
Okay, yeah.
I guess I went to Mexico one time and I loved it because of the heritage, because of the people, because of the love. It was just a great time. Like, I would love to go back on another cruise. So, if y'all hear me out there, y'all want to grant my wish list. Now look,
Hey, let me know because I want to go with you. I want to go on a cruise so bad.
I'm like, it would be so great. Like, you know what, GCT, we might need to go ahead and set up the community
Company
like
cruise,
guys. Like,
girl,
I
I'm
think
all
that
about
would be
that.
a great way for us to have a reunion and present some type of awards for the company. Boost
Tim,
morale.
are you listening to this?
Tim.
Tim. Yeah. Tim Nealon. We need a company cruise to company camaraderie. I'm all about that. Yeah. So Mexico is your favorite?
Mexico would probably be my favorite. I guess maybe one of my most famous haunted places. When I was like younger, we used to stay in Florida and we stayed in Orlando, but it was like the really like swampy bayou spot.
Oh.
So we had gators and snakes and wolf spiders getting in the air conditioner, making it hot every day. The water smelled like sulfur and eggs.
Oh,
but
no.
There was a cemetery that was not too far from where we used to live. And of course, me having siblings, they always want to play tricks on each other. We would go out and have a walk. And one night we kind of went out, I would say a little later than we were supposed to. And we went over there and I remember them trying to like scare me and spook me. And they kind of left me over there for a bit. Of course, I'm not in any danger because I know where we are and I can get back home. But being over there, I just remember, I swear that I seen, some people walking in the graveyard, but I was like, those couldn't be people, So I'm like, nah, this is just my imagination because I'm pretty young at this point. I'm like 6 or 7, so but that probably one of the most surreal things now that I'm growing up and I can remember that, and I'm like, I need to go back to Orlando just to visit them
just
folks.
to check. Yeah. So do your siblings? You said that you have multiple siblings. Do they ghost and history buffs like you?
I would say I'm probably the eccentric one in the family. I am the one that's sticking out. I am the one that, I guess you could say, watching the anime and looking at the weird stuff, like, right? But I mean, they're different, right? I mean, I'm sure they're kind of religious as well, so they would say, oh, there is the spirits in the different realm, but as far as with ghosts and doing the things that I necessarily do or even dressing like this, nah, they're more mundane. They're more they're more urban. Look, I love them. Look.
Yes. Hey, but that's what makes us all different, I love it.
They've come on my tours, which is funny. They've gotten the ticket. They're like, they surprised me, right? They come on the tour. And they surprise me. They have a good time. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, where we going now? Like,
Yep.
you know,
Yep. Yep.
they're funny. I'm like, okay, that's cool because they did have Lady Ghostbusters, but okay, look,
Mm-hmm.
look,
Yep.
you know.
Do you ever come out to New Orleans? Have you ever been?
So I did get to come out there when I was younger because I was touring different colleges and things to go to. I
Okay.
got to go see Xavier University, which was
Okay.
great. But I really wish I would have got to stay on Bourbon Street like longer. But of course, we were still pretty young, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Nope, you gotta go."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is like 18. They're like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're not 21. You gotta
Yeah.
get up out of here."
Well, you need to bring yourself this way. So
But
yes.
I love New Orleans because again the culture and everything,
Mm-hmm.
the heritage and the voodoo kind of spooks me. I'm not gonna lie. When I was there was a lady
Mm-hmm.
who came out of a back jack room and she was like, "Hey, let me have a piece of your hair to make something for like prosperity or something like
Nah,
that."
girl.
And I was like,
Mm-mm.
"Hell no!" Look,
Mm-mm.
I was like,
I'll
"Let
keep
me
what
get
I got
out of
because you may
here."
not be using it for prosperity. It might be like, mm-mm.
Because those shops back there are so surreal, and those people
Mm-hmm.
be entrenched in that lifestyle and
Yeah.
mentality. I'm like, they might be saying they're trying to give something good to me, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this lady was watching me. She came all the way out of there to approach me. Like, she
Yeah.
was like, I just saw you from afar, and you look like
Yeah.
you just have a great future ahead of yourself, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, but I can't give
Mm-hmm.
you none of my hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
The
know?
funny thing is that during the late 1800s and early 1900s, Chattanooga had a huge like culture of voodoo and witchcraft just sprout out of nowhere, and then it kind of died down.
Just as much as any other place, with it
Mm-hmm.
being the Bible Belt, it was just compounded. Like I said, when people
Mm-hmm.
came in with that type of stuff in witchery and things, because we had a couple bars and we had a couple, I guess you could call them sisters or mothers of voodoo who were
Mm-hmm.
down here, you know, creating a ruckus because they, you know, had things operating in the way they saw fit. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, it's going against the social standard of things. And I'm not going to say things didn't end well for them, but things didn't end well for them. Look,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of time it had to do with the minority community, right? Because we're trying to gain some type of religious aspect, and it wasn't even all bad, right? You know, they're trying to help, they're trying to make a difference. They're being something like a shaman, you know, they're trying to
Hmm.
give us health and wealth and
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
prosperity, but to everybody else,
Yeah.
it's witchcraft.
They're
You know,
not seeing
like
it
even
their
if you're
way.
trying to
Mm-hmm.
help, right? Like she's getting it operating and going how she sees fit because again, this is her community. You know, we got to
Mm-hmm.
deal with the cards we were dealt. We got to
Mm-hmm.
make it do with the straps we were given. So she was trying to do the best she could, and well, actually a few of them, and I mean, again, they said this is witchcraft. It's not, you know, Salem,
Yeah.
Massachusetts, but it's Chattanooga,
It's close.
Tennessee. Look,
Yeah.
and they still don't want to mess with the witchcraft or
Yeah.
any devil or anything like that. Because
Hmm.
you know we have like a large community of Mennonites and Mormons and things of that nature here
Really?
too.
Do you?
We do. We have a couple
Hmm.
shops too with the Mennonites. I go in there and fool with them from time to time, you know,
Yeah.
mess with them. We
Yeah.
friends now. Like at
Yeah.
first they
Yeah.
would run away when they saw me, but
Well, I
now
think
we
that they're
cool.
intrigued because they haven't seen a lot. They haven't been exposed to a lot. So I think that their cultures, they look where we were all, well, most of us were taught, don't stare because I'll slap your eyeballs in the back of your head. Like, don't stare, don't point at people. But I think that they're just so intrigued because they aren't exposed to all the crap that we are. But I didn't know that LDS was big out there. Like, I would never have thought in Chattanooga.
They have shops. They make stuff out of metals. They
Mm-hmm.
make the best fly swatters. They make them out of leather. I'll tell you that much. Like
Leather?
last 4th century. Yes,
Oh,
leather.
hell. Yeah. So their craftsmanship is, yeah. So that's one thing. Like how you said you sew, I sew, but it's like the craftsmanship and it's a dying trade because everything's just manufactured in bulk and just not the love that put into it. And they clearly put the love into their products and you can see it.
Any modern technology, and if they
Yeah.
are, that's a privilege. Like
Yeah.
you know, I'm like they're usually using the regular sets of tools for leather
Mm-hmm.
workings and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm like they have a stillman working out on the different pieces they make. Like I got a
Mm-hmm.
couple ornaments for my tree, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they like put different things on them. They make stuff out of plates, and I'm like, you know, this is pretty dope, you know. And I
Yeah.
want to support other people, and
Mm-hmm.
they're genuine people. I mean,
Yep.
despite some of the beliefs and the
Yeah. Not everybody
extremist
has to believe the
ideas, but
same thing, but yep. But you
but
respect that.
definitely.
And yeah, I love.
They respect me, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for them to take the time to even be, you know, allow me to come in and be comfortable with me to this
Mm-hmm.
point now, like that makes the difference. Because you know, some people again they turn tail and they ain't
Yeah.
coming back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Shout out to Chattanooga's community. Like, way to go, everybody. That's like a cohesive. I like that.
You're definitely still fighting to change some things, everything isn't right, but that's everywhere, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to pick your poison at this point, and hey, you better hope you're in the Princess Bride, because look, look, you got immunity at this point. Look,
Yeah, yeah. So we will end this by letting you give a little spiel, talk about yourself, try to get people say, come tour with Kaye Kaye Anderson. So even if they watch this and they feel like they gravitate towards you when they book a ticket and they call instead of booking one online, call the customer support and tell them that you want to book with Kaye Kaye Anderson out of Chattanooga. But go ahead, toot your horn, give us a little bit.
hey, I implore people to come out, to hear these stories, to get in-depth knowledge, to become part of my family. Let's become one, I'm like, life's too short. Come out and see our beautiful city of Chattanooga. We continue to grow every day. I'm not going anywhere, it seems like. So I'm going to grow with it, apparently. And I just want to immerse people in the love and the culture and the heritage, and again, the inclusion and the cohesion that we do have to offer. We do have a lot of other stuff to offer, but that's the main one that I really want to offer. I want people to know they have purpose, that, you can strive to do different things, and that it's okay being different, and that's what we definitely achieve and display with our mission and our different tours that we have. We are a family together, and we represent that when we go into the workforce and have these, different tours that we present. But I really want people to come, and enjoy and partake of it with us. Again, I think that it's best to learn, and grow from our history, and just, adapt to different things and bring more inclusion, love, and care about each other. Again, because like I said, we don't have long to be here. And I want you to come, come with KK, if you like the podcast today, go ahead and tell your people that KK did great. But if you didn't, tell them that, it was somebody else. It was somebody else in the podcast.
Go see Kaye and take a picture and hashtag it. I would love to see just people walk up and want to see a picture with you and be like, look, it's my girl from the, So
I implore you, call, say, let me get a tour with KK. Hey, if you need anybody to handle your streams, just your tailoring work, let me say it like that, your tailoring work, I would definitely have you hooked up with that as well. I'm like, and if you need any recommendations, anything, you're coming near the city, feel free, because, I'm definitely open. I have connections with people who I've had my first tours with, and they still talk to me to this day. So, I just implore you, come down, be part of the family. It's always a great time, and we're only getting better. So I really want people to come, and I just love this opportunity. I love you guys. You're very
We're so
kind.
happy
I really
that you were
appreciate
here.
what you're doing.
My sister from another mister. Girl, we're hooked now. You just don't have a choice. So, just the gravitation. You're just wonderful. Your outlook and your vibe. You're killing it. So keep on.
I think my heart just grew 3 times. Look, this so kind. I really do appreciate it, because sometimes you think I could do better. You be hard on yourself. I guess does everybody, but it's so nice to get your flowers every once in a while, to know that you're doing the right thing. Even when some people tell you ain't, it's wrong. That's all you hear.
Yeah.
But definitely.
You're doing great.
What'd you say, Doug?
You're doing great. You're doing absolutely great.
Ooh, I can say the same thing. If I'm doing good and great, y'all are doing awesome, fantastic. Look, look. Hey, y'all enable me to do good and great, so y'all can be fantastic and awesome.
Well,
and like I said, we're only getting better.
Yeah.
It's only an ascension. We're not going down.
Yeah.
No dissension.
Yep.
Well,
thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Like I said, I really appreciate you guys, and I hope we can do this again sometime. I'm working on some new spills. Hey, I can get you guys some questions. Hey, I'm gonna start asking y'all.
We'll come up with something. We'll be in touch. Definitely be in touch. Well, you keep kicking ass at what you're doing and give those tours.
I can't wait to see how this summer's gonna go, because I have so many other ideas that I want to incorporate. Just not even with the stories, but with my service and things that I want to do with people when they come. So I can't wait until this summer to see how things go, and I'm really enjoying it. And can I give a quick shout out too at the end?
Yeah, give it.
Like this is a TV show. Of course, I got to give a shout out.
You give whatever shout out you want. Get it, girl.
Okay, wait. First, shout out to myself because I do need to say I worked so hard, and it's just so nice to have people behind you that genuinely care when you're doing your best and achieving. You know,
Mhm.
I pray that my future is good, but I want to give a shout out to my family, to my brothers, to my sisters, to LaKen and Kay, and my mom and my dad. I know even though they didn't do everything right, they still in my life, and I still love them. I only got one family, and I just give a shout out to all the people who supported me, you guys as well, because you guys are great. And give a shout out to Miles too. I love
Shout
all
out
these people. I
Miles. Woo
love you
woo,
all. Yeah,
Miles.
look,
Yeah.
I can't forget. Can't forget. Look, so
And shout
I
out to
def-
mom and dad and family. Good job.
yes, definitely. I love you all. Guys, look, like I'm famous, right? You would think that I
Girl,
have
own
followers doing
it.
this, right?
You own it. You do. Yep. If nobody else is good, you got to toot your own horn to make other people follow behind that train. So keep on going.
Oh, I had to have confidence first for people to think I had it. So you're right.
Yeah.
You were so
Yep.
right. But
Yep.
again, I appreciate you guys. And again,
We
I don't want to
appreciate
hold
you.
it out longer,
Yeah.
because I know y'all been on here.
You're good, but we really appreciate it.
Definitely. And again, I hope we stay in touch and I hope we can do this again. I'm going to have y'all on my show next time. Look.
Sounds good. I'm in it to win it. Let me know. But yes,
Again,
well, thank you so much.
And one more thing. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Please follow me on TikTok. My TikTok is Kay's Concept. So KAYES _ KONCEPTS. So Kay's Concept. But
we'll see if they'll put it on it for you, so that way when it's running towards this, we could put your little info.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to get in touch, I'm trying to get famous on TikTok. So please hook me up. Now look.
Hey,
But
no shame in plugging yourself. So yes.
Thank you guys again so much.
You.
And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thank you.
As well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have you ever seen a ghost? What would you do if you did? Would you try to capture it on video? Or share the story with your family and friends? Your chance to find out is waiting for you. Don't miss it. Book now at ghostcitytours.com.
Misty,
Quinton,
it's time.
it's time.
Again,
And what are we doing?
doing a submission. We love the submissions. Even if some people don't like the submissions, I'm looking at you two.
No names.
No names. I'm not going to dox them yet.
No.
So we have a video.
We haven't received a... Oh, yeah, we did get a video.
It's right there.
I know, but I'm thinking, have we done a video? But we did last time we did a video. Okay.
But this one's special.
Okay.
This is one that our very wonderful video team did a little ghost hunt in one of our offices.
Yes. I have not seen this, but I heard they were doing that.
Yep.
Yep.
And this isn't all of it. We're going to be having a fuller video about it later on.
Okay.
That will be onto the YouTube and all the social media stuff.
So follow us.
Yeah, follow us to see more.
Yes.
But we may see
But
something.
let's see what this is first,
Yeah.
because, the negative Nancy's over there. Maybe this is going to be a negative Nancy for us.
They're the ones who caught it, so.
Ooh, boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Playing. But
Wait.
did you not see that?
No, I didn't see that. I can't get past the noise. Do you hear
Yeah,
somebody talking?
I think that's them talking, but it was over here. No, it's gone. Hold on.
Crap.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
They zoomed in.
Okay, wait, go back. Oh, you zoomed in?
No, they did.
Oh my gosh! Ooh! I wasn't expecting that one. How'd you see that?
It jump scared you.
It did.
Bloop. Right
And I'm
over there.
like a hyper vigilant, always on edge kind of thing. And so, oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh. Wait, let's see. See? Ooh, boy. Okay.
I don't even care if it's anything or not. I just love seeing your reaction.
Oh.
That's the highlight for me.
I wasn't expecting that one. I like it. I'll give, yep, 10 out of 10. Because it's so clear and nothing's moving. Like if you're watching this clip and you need to follow our YouTube channel so you can watch it, oh my gosh. But it's crystal clear. And then all of a sudden, whoop,
Blump.
yes. Okay, so yeah. So I know why they were filming this, because it's done at our headquarters here in Covington. But they say that the call center has residuals or some kind of haunting or something there, from keyboards clacking to different things to things moving. So that was one of the reasons they did this investigation. However, holy crap.
We didn't see an object move, but we saw something.
And do you see where it was coming from?
Want to do it one
But
more
it is so
time?
clear and so blatantly obvious. Well,
Until I pointed it out.
yes, but the next clip where it was, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like that got me.
Came
Yeah.
right from the kitty. Is it the kitty statue?
No, watch.
No? Yeah, it's coming from there.
No, wait. See, it was coming from there.
What was on the...
That's the little thing that I don't want to say. People need to watch to see.
Oh,
But
that
they
thing.
think, yes. That
Something in
moves.
there.
Holy shitballs. Okay, yep, 10 out of 10. I'm in it. What do you think? And not just because I work here and think, but that's so clear. You don't like it.
No, I'm loving you.
You don't.
I see it.
Anyway, like, that's not no speck of dust. And that was a mosquito, because the mosquitoes out here are like the size of tarantulas.
That's
but
a mosquito hawk.
that isn't. Oh, that's a mosquito hawk?
No, that's what they're
Oh,
called.
They're dead when I see them. I like walk around with a flip flop.
They
But
don't hurt you.
I don't give a shit. What do you think that was?
I don't know what that was.
You're not a believer.
We had a whole... Last time we did this...
I want to know if you think that out of a 10, what would you give that? I say 10 plus.
I wish
that
I
was
could see
good.
it better. I give it a
Oh,
good...
but you don't have your spectacles.
I do not. I'm blind.
Yeah,
I give
okay.
it a good 8.5.
I only have mine on, but that was 8.5? Okay. Do we want to ask the guys?
I just wish there was some more, like, movement.
Stay tuned and watch the video when it's released.
Yeah, we're not going to ask them. They're just looking at us like we're idiots. That's fine. Okay, let's do the next one.
I thought that was great. Okay.
I liked your reaction.
That was exciting.
This one also came in from the video team, not from the ghost hunt, but something Zach caught when he was at the, what was it, the Illinois
School of Deaths. For the deaf.
deaf children? What the hell is that? Zach, what is that?
It's a little person. See the
Yeah,
kid?
I know, but like...
I wonder about that school, if they had some kind of tragedy or something there.
There's always a tragedy at a school.
I'm just saying, maybe that's why the little kid's there.
Why is it glowing?
Because there's a exit sign.
Is there? Oh, it's in front of it.
Yeah, I see
but
that.
this
Maybe
thing's
it's shiny. Maybe they just got done waxing the floor. Like
behind.
what's on
No,
it?
because you
What's
can
on-
see it. You
I'm
can
just trying not to be such an optimistic all the time, but I really am.
Why can't
Like
you
I
just-
think it's a person.
just be optimistic.
I think it's a kid.
Because Zach said the exit sign that we can't see is in the front of the door, but that's clearly behind
Yeah.
the wet floor sign.
Yes, like more
inside.
forward. But yet you could see through it. So it is transparent.
The crazy thing is, you can make out
Yes.
the bit of that. So
Yes.
that just may be a lighting flare, but that's a
Yeah.
that looks like a child.
That does look like a child or Misty size.
And I don't know what other thing in this room could make that, because it's not a lens flare. Because
No,
there's
but
lighting right there.
It's not the blue light from the iPhone.
There's no iPhone. It's on.
I know. I'm just saying, like my iPhone left a blue light. Yes.
Congratulations, Zach. You caught a ghost.
I think it's a ghost.
At least
I think it's a little
could be a ghost.
kid. I think it's a little kid. I want to know what people think,
Yeah.
because obviously I'm the believer.
Mhm.
You're pretty much of a believer.
Yeah.
They're the naysayers. Zach is the one that took the picture, but yeah, I would be interested. I want to know what other people think. Who else has been here to the Illinois School for Deaf Children?
Probably not many.
Is it a tourist place? Like, is it open for?
Oh, is it?
Oh, it's an active school.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so if anybody maybe knows some history, I like that.
Ghost.
But I like the whole picture because it's clear, like the whole picture's clear.
Uh-huh.
But to see that and it's transparent, is quite interesting. And I don't see, like, honestly, a red light that would, because it's regular lights like around it, and that's really red.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that if it was an exit sign, it doesn't cascade that red. Especially if lights are on, you wouldn't see it that red through. Think of like the movie theater and you see the exit. You
Mhm.
don't see that on the other side and it's dark. I'm going to do some research. Somebody who's been there, let me know. Let me know. I want to see more pictures.
See more ghosts?
Yes. Or videos. Holy shit. That last video was good though. Yeah. So I think that that's great. So I haven't been getting as many submissions as I'd hope.
Please submit.
Where?
You can submit it at hauntings@ghostcitytours.com.
Yes.
That's hauntings@ghostcitytours.com.
Yes.
Give us your ghosts.
Yes.
We want your ghosts.
Yeah. I want to see, because clearly it's so fun.
Please send us
Yes.
stuff that will make
Make me smile. Make me jump.
make Misty jump.
Yeah. I think that's great. I'm going to do some research, but if anybody else has been there, message or send me an email from the Hauntings at Ghost City Tours.
Yep.
They come to me, so I'll look at them and I will respond. And yeah, I'd love to hear if somebody even works there that has a story to tell.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Message me and I'll reach out to you and call you. And then if you're interested in being on our show, I will have you on our show.
Oh, that's your lot.
Send me some videos. That was great.
Send
Okay.
Misty videos.
Follow us on YouTube.
Yep.
Follow us on all social media so you
Yep.
could see when the video gets released.
That's Ghost City Tours on all handles.
Yep.
Twitter, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok,
TikTok.
Facebook.
Yep. Facebook. Yep. So, well, thank you. I had fun.
We'll see you next time.
Yep. Stay tuned.